Kevon, how does it feel to be back in camp and gelling with the teammates?
I mean, it feels real good. There are like a lot of new players as well, so trying to get used to everybody. But so far, it's been good. The energy's been high. The guys are in good spirits, so for the most part, I can say it's been pretty good.
Kevon Lambert, the ideal messiah to solve Jamaica National Team Midfield woes. Coach Al Grimson, you have to take in that video. Welcome on board everyone to another episode on Premier 7. I am your host, Rayon Nelson. It is indeed a wonderful day as I am here to present on a player that I would consider as one of my favorites whenever he represents the Jamaica men's national team. This player is Kevon Lambert. Today, I will be speaking about the topic Kevon Lambert, the ideal messiah to solve Jamaican national team midfield woes. I will speak about him by way of a general introduction, then I look on his current info by way of Transfermarkt, then 5 fast facts. And before the show is being closed, I will definitely let you know how this player can solve Jamaica midfield problems. It has to be understood that we have tried experiments in the midfield, whereas we by now would want to conclude to say that Mr. Damian Lowe is the man for the DM role. But what about thinking about a partner in crime for Mr. Damian Lowe? How about thinking about a utility player that has represented Jamaica before who can play as a central midfielder or a DM in Mr. Kevon Lambert? Let me just jump right into the general introductory discussion on the player. But before I do that, I have something that I want your input to be of great significance for this channel because it is one for which I want to grow more and for you, the fans, to benefit from. So I have a scheduled post that I want to hear your side from. So the post is, can you please let me know if you prefer to have the Premier 7 host face, that is me, included or not included in the live or uploaded video contents? You have the option to choose face or no face. All right, and in that case, if you're new to the platform, please subscribe. If you already a supporter of Premier 7, you know you should leave a like, comment, and share the content so other persons can become engaged with the channel. And also, you can support me here on YouTube, further on TikTok and Instagram. And if you want to say thank you in the form of a donation, there's always my PayPal account available within my video description, whereas you can send any amount that you wish to send to the account. All right, so let's jump back into the general introductory discussion on Mr. Kevon Lambert. So, Montego Bay United, Phoenix Rises, Real Salt Lake, San Antonio FC, the four clubs that this gentleman plays for so far at the age of 27. as a Jamaican born player. 12 games for Montego Bay United between 2016 to 2017, but based on how impactful he was in the Jamaican Premier League, he was later moved on to Phoenix Rises between 2017 to 2023, played 147 games, 13 goals. This was the climax thus far in Mr. Lambert's career. A lot of experience under his belt playing in the United States. But later on, between 2023 to 2024, from Real Salt Lake two times and now is on loan at San Antonio FC. So there aren't many games that he has played between two clubs in Real Salt Lake and San Antonio FC, but it doesn't say that he isn't playing games because yesterday the team played and Mr. Lambert was a part of the team. They drew against Las Vegas Light 1-1. And for some more extension for the club that he plays for currently, he plays in the USL Championship Western Conference, whereas San Antonio FC is currently fifth with 14 points. That is 6 points behind the leaders in Scamartino, who sits at top of the table. But there's not a major gap between third place and fifth place. So for Mr. Kevon Lambert, I can really and truly recall when he plays for Jamaica in a few games. For example, playing against the United States, he was benched in some of the games as well. But the game that he made his name be known was when he started in a 1-0 victory over Honduras on the 16th of February 2017. For me, Mr. Lambert is that player who is cool headed. He is a type of player that Jamaica needs for Copa America. The player who you can say is not that person who will be, I won't say fans' favorite, but the person who will not be all over the globe trying to show up his face to say that I am Kevon Lambert. Talk to me, look at me, I am bossy. But more so is on the calm side, focusing on his game, taking the next step as to how he can improve himself and how he can contribute to his national team. Mr. Lambert is a person like this, who plays in different positions, and wherever you can put him, he will be able to do so. He's one of those utility type of players as well, similarly to a Joel Latibodier. But where impact is concerned, whereas strength, whereas direct passes, whereas team chemistry, whereas concentration is important, you can think about a Kevon Lambert. Now let me just jump into his current statistics by way of the transfer market. Because we always want to see the player's current form. So for Mr. Kevon Lambert, as I mentioned earlier on, he's age 27, right? He's age 27. One of my favorite players. Um, he basically plays a defensive midfielder. But the thing is, I am going to let you understand why he will be important in the midfield because at times he can play as a central midfielder and sometimes he can play as a defensive midfielder. So not to worry, I will take on that part later down in the video. So 9 appearances thus far, 2 goals, 90% starting 11 and minutes, 13 goal participation. Just imagine if he was playing a lot more in terms of appearances. You will see an improvement in terms of goal participation because his statistics doesn't prove wrong. For Mr. Lambert, as you can see here on screen, he can play even as centre backs. And I don't want for him to be in that position for Jamaica because Jamaica is somewhat okay there or somewhat stacked. Because if we even should bring back a Liam Moore, based on the previous video I did, to unleash the onslaught of a Damian Lowe in the DM role, then we will have, let's say, four centre backs in Bernard, in Mr. Liam Moore, in Ethan Pinnock, and of course, Jamaica can even consider another player apart from Damian Lowe to play at the centre back position, like a Joel Latibodier. Right? So four centre backs. So we don't want for Mr. Kevon Lambert to play as a centre back, but more so as a DM or a central midfielder. Because we want to really and truly get Jamaica prepared for Copa America. And my people, the longer it takes for us to prepare ourselves, it will be easier for us to be turned over and shoved aside in the top competitions of such. Remember, we're yet to exit a group stage in Copa America. Two times we went to the competition in 2015, 2017, finishing way below par. And I want for Jamaica to do better, to build up on what was being done from the Nations League, take it further from this stage to Copa America, to World Cup qualifiers, to the World Cup, and go forward. So how about the fact that Kevon Lambert have some good information by way of fast facts? Because opinion isn't factual, and that is where you can have arguments. But when the fact is placed on the table in front of you, you will have nothing to say but just to be, you know, I won't say a hypocrite, but if you want to be an hypocrite when you hear the facts, then it is up to you. But facts always states that I am for real. All right, so let's look on the five fast facts for Mr. Lambert. All right, so here we go. Mr. Lambert, what is it about you right now that Jamaican fans and football enthusiasts on a whole should understand and to realize how important you are for the Jamaica men's national team for Copa America to solidify the midfield to help Jamaica make a solution to the midfield woes. All right, so right here, Lambert has appeared in three CONCACAF Gold Cup for Jamaica. He has played in excess of 20 times for the national team. In 2017, when he was a defender at age 20, and appeared in five of six Gold Cup matches for country, helping the Reggae Boys reach the final for the second time in the country's history. People, this part rings a bell as to why this man with more experience should be in the Jamaican national team. This video deserves a lot of ratings because I am bringing you the facts here. And this was written last year, August, so it's not far from now. And according to FBref, the Jamaican international led Phoenix Risers in the USL Championship in both interception and tackles won during the 2019, 2020, and 2021 season. People, what is it that this player can do in the midfield for Jamaica? Remember, the midfield is where the game is won and lost. And a lot of big gun teams like Argentina, Mexico, Ecuador, and the list goes on, likes to utilize the strength of their midfield. Unlike England, who loves to use a long ball formula, then again, England has a very good midfield. So if they had to even change from the long ball to midfield tactics, bouncing the ball, connecting the dots. They will have a solid midfield base to work with. Furthermore, for Mr. Lambert, while with Phoenix Rises, after helping Phoenix reach its first ever USL Championship final in 2018, Lambert led his team to the first overall regular season finish in 2019 and then followed that up with helping Phoenix reach its second ever USL Championship final in 2020. It is absolutely amazing to share these details about Mr. Kevon Lambert. And I tell you, it doesn't take much games for me to just see how well that player can cement his spot in the national team. Because we know that we want Damian Lowe to play as the DM, and we are thinking more so of having Casey Palmer as that number 10. But when a number 8 is concerned, we can play defensive and as a central player, starting or from the bench, or as I said before, a utility midfielder. Kevin Lambert is the ideal player. He is the ideal player. Two more to go. Entertaining, entering his seventh season with the club, Lambert was named Phoenix Risers captain in 2023. The honors, the honors. And finally, although typically deployed as a defensive midfielder, Lambert has scored 13 goals in the USL Championship. His best tally coming in the 2019 season when he scored 4. In addition to his goal scoring ability, he's also registered 9 assists, showing off his impressive passing skill set. So, seeing that he was deployed as a defensive midfield player, it shows that the team relies heavily on him to, contribute defensively. But he has the ability to lead along the way, to take his shots at the goal, scoring goals, of course, and making key passes by way of his passing skill set. I mean, what is there to disagree about the player? And now I want to just jump into the fact now, how could he solve Jamaica midfield problems? Because it is not only one problem. Problems is in Jamaica midfield. But before I do that, let's have a reflection of his performance when he was at Phoenix.
Came out to flood. Now Mowar dancing. Great work by Blake to hang on. Asante flicks, headed away by Lambert. Diego will feature again on an ESPN network later in the week. More on that in a moment. Mowar. Mowar sliding this up. Lambert. Lambert has a go, and with the deflection, it's by Muse. It's a 4th for Phoenix, and the Jamaican international with the gymnastics to boot.
Wow, wow, wow. I am feeling the comfort of having a Lambert in the national team. Not because he's one of my ideal players who should be in the 23-man squad or 24-man squad for the national team. It is just based on how he can potentially improve Jamaica now and beyond. Remember, he's 27 years of age. So many experience for Phoenix, so many fun facts. This guy is the man that is the messiah if he is taken to the Copa America. I'm just speaking things into being because he's quality. He's quality in the midfield. All right, so here is it now for the Jamaica national team on how he could solve our midfield problems. So, of course, I go for the 4-2-3-1 formation because I like to have a solid base, and seeing that Mr. Lambert is that player who can play as an 8 or as a 6, the strength and the dynamics that himself and Mr. Lowe will have in that midfield, it will be crime. But before I even talk more on that, let's talk about the team indeed. So Coach Al Grimson down here, Andre Blake, back for Lemby Kisa, Bernard Pinnock, Amara Bell. Questions persons could want Lee right here, but so far, I think Amara Bell is the main man. And we don't want for Damian Lowe to be played as a centre back. So we want to keep him there as a DM. So his role is to be the DM. Lambert now can play as a DM or an 8. Casey Palmer as our number 10. Bobby Reed and Demarai Gray, the right wing and left winger, respectively. Shamari, right? And Shamar Nicholson as our talisman up front. Yes. Alright, so I will not be speaking about all the players in its entirety, but focusing on the midfield with Kemar Lambert. Remember, I mentioned earlier on that Kemar Lambert have the skill set to make good passes. He can make passes whereas you may not even be thinking that he'll be making the pass. That is how technical Mr. Lambert is. He can make passes to a Bobby who may be keeping himself on this end. So the ball will swing right from Lambert, right, to a Bobby Reed, who will make the opportunity to cut in, pass, or to shoot. More so a goal will be scored because he is one of the accurate strikers. Well, one of the accurate player who plays up front for Jamaica as a forward or a winger. Same thing. Low and him can even swap for tactical reason. And based on passing ability, remember he has good passing ranges. And depending on the team that we're playing against, you may want to keep low on this side to deal with the problem. The midfielder who may want to run through Jamaica midfield, and low can just clean up that person, not recklessly, but by way of proper scrutiny, and pass the ball to a Lambert, who will then scope out the thing. Doesn't have to give Casey Palmer the ball, but the same thing. Demarai Gray, who I know for sure will cut in and shoot. Bob Reed might make the passes in the box for Shamar Nicholson to score a header, but I am sure that Demarai Gray more shall go for the target. So I want to just let you know that for Kevon Lambert, is that person who is known for his good defensive duties, right? And in the days of Phoenix, he was one of the first names to be placed on the sheet, the starting sheet, because tackling one interception, come on, that is a guy that you want to put in your midfield. And that is the reason why I'm even thinking about him being the partner in crime for the national team beside Damian Lowe, because when he can go forward, because I believe he has the stability and the endurance above like a Daniel Johnson, and based on the fact that he can go forward with the ball again, he likes to collect the ball from like here and traverse his way going forward. Then you need a strong and a powerful person who can roam through the midfield. He may not be the fastest, but whereas passing is concerned and dribbling, he's not bad with that. The issue that he may have is that he may not be the best player to take his team out of trouble by taking the ball from the back. So whereas Ethan Pinnock and Deshaun Brennan is concerned, pass the ball to Damian Lowe, who will then give it to a Lambert somewhat here, who will then try to go and bully his way through the midfield of the opposition. And of course, could concede free kick anywhere here. And by way of that, that man like Bobby Reed, Demarai Gray, even Casey Palmer have the potential to take good free kicks. And of course, having a Kevon Lambert in the team again, whereas aerial duels is concerned or considered from set pieces, direct free kicks, indirect free kicks, we have his height to contribute to such. So, scoring headers or flicking off the ball so other persons have a chance to score is good on the offensive side. Where the defensive side is concerned, again, his height alongside a Bernard, a Pinnock, a Lowe, a Palmer, a Nicholson, that is more than 5 names, could help Jamaica having the dominance over teams that has played of shorter structure. And because he's strong, his strength will add extra boost to the national team in terms of coverage and stamina and dominance. People, there could be a lot more that could be said about this player, but I believe that he is fantastic for Jamaica. If you don't want to start him, fine. But having him in the team is a very important thing. And yes, some of the details being shared is from his Phoenix days. But remember, you cannot write off a player who is not done. He's not retired, right? He's not retired. He's a player that you have to look on his career and make some reassessment. If we have fantastic coaches, backroom staffs who have been watching or assessing the players who have been through the Jamaica system and has not been out for a very long time, then I think a Kevon Lambert is the one that we have to bring back. So, people, what is your thoughts on this major and mind blowing topic? Kevon Lambert, the ideal messiah to solve Jamaica National Team midfield woes. I believe he can be a solution, an additional utility player, similar to a Joel Latibode who can play in different positions. Hands down, he's a hands-on man that I want for Jamaica to consider. And if you don't bring him to the Copa America, you have to get a proper midfielder then, who you may say, all right, let's forget about Kevon Lambert. He wasn't existing, right? That is how much of a rated player he is. And when I talk about players, it is no joke. He's that right man to partner with a Damian Low people. So I will leave it at that and for you to interact and let me know what you think. So take care and goodbye until we meet again.